Thank you all for coming tonight. My name is Donna. I am the Supplier Performance Manager with Expedia Cruises Team Friesen. And I apologize, I didn't put the slides up for explaining about Team Friesen, but if you're okay just looking at me chatting, then, I'm happy to do that. So Expedia Cruises, we are Team Friesen. We've been around for almost 18 years now. Our franchise partner is Sean and Tammy Friesen. And our very first center that they opened was in Thunder Bay. And so it started out for a couple of years just there, but they quickly grew in the north with Sudbury and getting agents in different areas. So a couple of years after that, we opened our Sudbury store, and now we're up to 13 centers, soon to be 15. We're going to be opening. So quickly, I'll list all the centers just in case you're not sure. So we have Thunder Bay, Sault Ste. Marie, Sudbury, North Bay. Barry has joined our team a year ago. We have Burlington, Burlington North, Ancaster Dundas, Hamilton, Woodstock, and then down to the far south, Windsor, Sarnia, and Chatham are our two newest stores. And then this year we're going to open Orillia and St. Thomas. So very exciting. And a lot of people say, okay, yeah, whatever, I don't care, I just deal with the one center. Absolutely. But because of we're being so large, we are a team of over 450 consultants. So with that, we bring a world of travel. So even though maybe you're working with someone and you're thinking, I'd really like to go to Antarctica, and that person hasn't gone, someone on our team has, actually quite a few people on our team that was gone to Antarctica. So we are a team, so they would just reach out. And if you wanted to chat with that person via Zoom, if they're in a different center, and it just gives them that firsthand experience of what they experienced, and we get to share that with you. So that is the benefit of working with Expedia Cruises, and particularly with our Team Friesen. So I'm gonna stop talking because I could talk for hours. As Aaron's laughing, he's like, yes, you can. So I am very happy tonight that we have Aaron Crawford with Holland America Line, and he is going to do a presentation. I'm not sure if you have it, Aaron, but he is involved right now with our Welcome Aboard special. So if you want to know what that includes, please reach out to your consultants, and we are going to take questions at the end. If you don't want to be on camera, if you don't want to talk, that's okay. You can use the chat throughout if you think of a question, and we'll look at it at the end, though. So with that being said, I want to say thank you, Aaron, and I'm going to pass it off to you.
Hey, thank you, Donna. Yes, hello, everyone. My name is Aaron Crawford, as you just heard. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and learning a little bit about Holland America. Hopefully, some of you might have cruised on us before, but if not, I'm going to introduce you to this amazing brand with an amazing legacy. Holland America is a little over 150 years old, and we really have played a role in defining contemporary cruising. So I'm going to kick it off with just a short video that's going to highlight some interesting features about Holland America. Then I'm going to do a brief overview about our brand and the experience on board. I'm going to talk about a couple of specific destinations, and then we'll open it up for maybe some questions at the end. So let's take a look at this short video. I love that video, lively, good music, and it really does set the tone for the new Holland America experience. So for those that are not familiar with Holland America, we are that premium cruise line that really is dedicated to the kind of travelers that are looking for these five kind of pillars. Guests can feel that the focus we put onto offering some of the world's most unique travel destinations in comfort and elegance on board the perfectly sized ships with great food, world-class music, and legendary service is never in the way or out of reach. We really do strive on making sure that this is the very best experience on board. And we draw from that over 150-year legacy of sailing the world's oceans to really create a story when we visit those places that you've always wanted to visit. And so we can provide that rich maritime history dating all the way back, like I said, over 150 years in every voyage. So it does really create something really special. Now, I did mention the perfectly sized ships. We would be considered that medium-sized ship in the industry. Our largest ship, which would be our Pinnacle class, is roughly around 2,600 passengers. Our smallest ship would be our R class, which is a little around 1,400 passengers. And what you're going to feel on board all of our ships is that classic cruise experience. So these ships are going to be a bit nostalgic to the cruising that you might have experienced years ago, while being able to provide all of the amazing modern amenities on board. It's important to us that your cabins feel like a second home. You're going to come on board, you're going to unpack once, you're going to be able to relax in the spacious cabin with ample storage, and really take advantage of all of that space. Whether you're in an inside cabin, ocean view, veranda, or one of our elegant suites, it really is going to be that elevated experience. The suites that I was talking about, our signature suites, really offer some of the most spacious seating areas and sleeping areas at sea. And so whether it's our Neptune suite or Pinnacle suite, you're going to have a wide range of amazing amenities that'll be available only to you as one of our suite guests. So you're definitely going to want to talk to your Expedia travel advisor to make sure you're choosing the right cabin on the right ship for that experience. Now, when you're on board our ships, of course, we want to take care of you, and we do that really if no one else can. So we're going to give you access to our amazing onboard experts, the amazing dining, of course, our fun parties, the amazing lineup of entertainment. There's actually quite a bit that's changed with our onboard entertainment. So you're going to look for that coming out in press releases coming over the next few months. But we've done a complete revamp of our world stage performances, and that would be kind of the theater performances that we're talking about. So a complete revamp there. You're going to see some very exciting things coming. Now, of course, when you maybe want to leave the theater and you're thinking about doing something else, Holland America really does offer some of the best live music at sea. My favorite spot on board any one of our ships is the BB King Blues Club. This is that amazing lounge. You can sit back with a cocktail, some friends, and listen to some amazing live music. Or you can head over to the Rolling Stone Lounge for your classic and contemporary rock and roll. And then right across from there, you're going to find our billboard on board. Think about dueling pianos with contemporary music, of course, all live, tons of fun energy. And something that's new for us is our Third Avenue West. So this will be focusing more on string instruments, again, all live, lots of energy, and we've been winning awards for our amazing live music on board, which is something we're super proud of. Now, of course, we're going to have the performances, lectures available as well to give you that in-depth experience on board. And of course, the fun sports and activities. So I don't know if we have any pickleball players on the call today, but that is the fastest growing sport in North America. And we are proud partners of the Pickleball Association. So we actually can offer 2 courts on board all of our ships. One is a flex court that you could use for maybe volleyball, tennis, basketball, of course. And then we have one dedicated regulation court, which is just for pickleball. So you can come on board and have tons of fun playing that amazing sport at sea. And of course, all of the other fun activities that you would expect. Our amazing libraries on board. This is something not to be missed. There are a ton of fun, great selection of books in there, and just a quiet place to get away. Now, any idea what the #1 activity is on any cruise line? If you said eating, you are spot on. Eating, dining, of course, is the #1 activity. And Holland America, our cuisine really does go beyond the plate. So we offer some amazing fresh fish, ingredients that are locally sourced directly from those who know them best. And our on dining destinations really will match the fascinating regions that you're cruising through, and provide that kind of unique flavor. So whether it's North Sea cod or Sydney rock oysters, it really is going to be authentic to the regions that we're cruising for. And you're going to be able to immerse yourself in some amazing, delicious culinary shore excursions and some amazing dining on board. Now, something that's new for us that I'm very proud of is our partnership with Chef Morimoto. Chef Morimoto is from Top Chef, and he is our fresh fish ambassador. So what we've done is we've actually taken something that we've been doing in Alaska for a long time, but we've repeated that in our other destinations. And that is our commitment to fresh, locally sourced, in-season seafood. So whether or not you're sailing in Alaska or Australia, the seafood that you're eating on board is going to be locally sourced and seasonal from the area that we're sailing from. We've committed to 48 hours from hook to plate for all of our seafood on board. And Chef Morimoto, like I said, is that ambassador for us. So let's take a quick listen to Chef Morimoto talking about this amazing relationship.
At Holland America Line, our cuisine goes beyond the plate. That's why we're introducing our new, first of its kind, global fresh fish program, offering you more than 80 varieties of fresh fish sourced locally from across our global network. Because we care about what's on your plate, who we partner with is important.
The Fresh Fish program is very 画期的. I'm Chef Morimoto, Fresh Fish Ambassador for Holland America Line. Decided we're working with Holland America because we have same standard as the flavored ingredients, especially fish. I will bring my innovative flair to a pop-up restaurant on all set on Holland America. Let us prepare something for you.
So that's definitely a recipe you're going to want to check out when you get on board. Now, some other things that we love to celebrate on board our ships is the Holland America traditions. So things that we're incredibly proud of. Our Royal Dutch tea. This will be a service at least once on every voyage. Our mint service. This is going to be that after dinner mint or ginger service that just elevates that guest experience as you're leaving the main dining. Of course, Dutch Day. This is in honor of our relationship to the Netherlands. This is going to take place on April 27th on board all of our ships. And our Holland America Orange Party. So at least once per cruise, the Holland America is going to throw a fabulous orange party in honor again of the Netherlands royal family. And this is your opportunity to get dressed up in orange, fun accessories, fun colors, and really have a blast doing a little bit of a pub crawl throughout our ship and through our fun activities. So I encourage you to go to your closet and check to see how much orange you have. You might be surprised how little is there, but you're definitely going to want to pack something to bring on board. Now, on board, of course, we want you to have as much fun as possible. You're going to want to speak to your travel advisor about adding on our Have It All package or our drinks package. We have two versions available depending on how far in advance you book, but your travel advisor can talk to you about which one is going to make the most sense for you. Now, of course, I can't talk about Holland America without talking about Alaska. Now, normally I would dive, and I would spend a lot of time talking about this. I know that traveling to the US right now might be a bit of a hot topic, but so I'm not going to spend as much time talking about this. I think if Alaska is something that you're interested in, what I would encourage you to do is reach out again to your Expedia travel advisor, and they can help answer any questions you might have and make sure you're choosing the right itinerary. But Alaska for us really is something that has helped put Holland America on the map. We've been cruising to Alaska since before Alaska was a state. And we can offer two really interesting ways to experience Alaska. So when you're talking to your travel advisor, you're going to want to come prepared to answer a few questions. So things like, why do you want to go to Alaska? When can you go? How do you want to feel at the end of that cruise? And most importantly, how much time do you have? When you're thinking about Alaska, you do really want to spend as much time there as possible. If it's only a week, a cruise is a really great option. Amazing itineraries, 7 to 28 days to get you that cruise experience with your shore excursions. The one that I recommend, and which is by far my favorite experience, is the Alaska Cruise Tour, anywhere from 9 to 18 days. And if you're unfamiliar with this, I'm not surprised. The easiest way to kind of think about this is that it's a combination of a land package. So think of Rocky Mountaineer, think of Trafalgar, as well as the cruise. So it's really that opportunity to get you past the ports and really into the heart of Alaska. Now, like I said, we do have the cruise experience. We've been going there since 1947, and we do have a couple of options for you. So outside passage, inside passage, one way, northbound, southbound, really a lot of options. It really is personal preference. If you're a first-time cruiser, the inside passage is a really great option for you. The reason I suggest that is the water's normally calm. The ship will cruise at a low speed in order to protect marine life. You're going to be able to see land on both sides for most, if not all, of the cruise. So for a first-time cruiser, it's really going to take care of a lot of maybe the hesitation that you have on going on that cruise. I know Alaska isn't always thought of as the first destination for a cruiser, but it really does address a lot of the concerns that you might have and really is a very spectacular experience. Now, if you got a little bit more time, of course, we do offer the 14 days, again, round trip out of Vancouver or Seattle. Now, the cruise tour, like I talked about, this is that combination of land and cruise combined. We really do take care of everything for you. So we're going to take care of the amazing rail experience into Denali Park. We might even get you into the Yukon, and there's some amazing excursions. Now, when you're in Alaska, we're going to get you into Denali Lodge. This will be where you're staying in Denali, and this will all be included in your cruise tour package. In the lodge, of course, you're going to have the amazing accommodations, Denali Square, the amphitheater. It is a ton of fun. It is the heart of the lodge, for sure. And we're going to get you there on the McKinley Explorer. So this is an owned and operated by Holland America rail experience. And this is that glass dome luxury rail. There's bars, restaurants, shopping, washrooms, Wi-Fi. It really is quite elegant. You'll be able to step out on some open air platforms to get some amazing views. And again, this is really will be a highlight of that whole experience. We're going to get you into Denali National Park. This will be the only time on the itinerary that you're not with a Holland America tour director. We're going to actually have you with a park ranger heading into Denali National Park, and they're going to be the ones guiding that for you. This is included in any of our cruise tours, and it'll be for any itinerary that has 2 or 3 night stays in the Denali Lodge. So again, your travel advisor can help you make sure that you're choosing the right one. Now, when you go in and speak to your travel advisor, I encourage you to look at the cruise tour that includes the Yukon. I've done it. This was absolutely a highlight for me. This was the favorite part of that whole experience. Again, we're going to give you a complimentary excursion. This will be the Klondike Gold Tour, and you're going to learn about all the history of the Dawson City, Yukon. It was at the heart of the gold rush in the late 1890s, and really is just steeped in Canadian history. For any of you that haven't been, this is an absolutely charming, quirky, fun little town that really does celebrate some of the most fabulous parts of Canada. So this should be a highlight for you, and I would highly recommend that you look for any of the cruise tours that includes the Yukon is one of those destinations. Now, the one that I always suggest for the people that have the time, of course, this would be the very best of the best. 18-day round trip from Vancouver. You're going to have the cruise portion, and we're going to take care of everything for you. Plane, train, bus, accommodations, all of it will be taken care of for you. And then we're going to get you back to Vancouver. 3 nights in the Yukon, 3 nights in Denali, plus 2 glacial experiences. And Glacier Bay is one of the most popular destinations. Some things that Holland America can do a little bit differently than any other cruise line is we have preferred access into Glacier Bay. If you don't know, that's a UNESCO World Heritage Site that really is a highlight for most cruises. And we're going to be first in the morning. We're there for the longest. You'll actually see the ship behind us as we're exiting out of the fjord. And we can do that only because, like I said, we've been going to Alaska longer than anyone else. The other thing that we do that's worth mentioning is we have preferred docking rights. So in all your ports of call, Holland America will be docked right downtown, which means you're going to be able to step off the ship and go right into the Alaska town or village to enjoy that experience. All other ships will be parked a little bit away, might have to tender, you might have to bus in. So Holland America really is the ultimate choice for any of those Alaska experiences. Now, if you're thinking about when to go to Alaska, it does matter. So in my opinion, it's really May is a fabulous month to go. August, September, again, fabulous months to go. So I'd be looking for those as really being my preferred time to go. But really, any time between May and October is a great time to go. Now, keeping in mind that your cruise tours will run really from May until the end of September, where cruising is going to run from May until October. Now, another destination that's incredibly popular right now, and rightfully so, this is the amazing Canada, New England. This is really been growing year over year for us in popularity, and given our current situation in the world, it's getting a lot of attention right now from Canadian travelers. And like I said, rightfully so, it is a stunning part of Canada. Again, you're going to be choosing this itinerary for very similar reasons to Alaska. Those fun excursions, access to history, the marine life, of course, the amazing seafood. Now, when you sail out of Montreal, you're going to be sailing out on the Volendam. And this is that small ship that I talked about, a little over 1,400 guests, and it is perfectly sized to just slip under the bridge in Montreal and then sail down the St. Lawrence out to the East Coast. So it is a really cool thing to be able to do. If you haven't done it, that sail away out of Old Town Montreal is really something special. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of itineraries here. We've got our round trip out of Boston, again, Canada, New England, the 11-day out of Montreal. That is all of your Canadian destinations, including St. Pierre. That's in August of 2025. A brand new one for us right now that we've added is May 30th. This is absolutely one that I would encourage you to talk to your travel advisor about. This would be my top pick. 10-day round trip out of Montreal. All the Canadian ports. And if you're not familiar with St. Pierre, this is actually a French territory. So even though these are all Canadian ports, you will need to bring your passport with you because you will be entering France when you pull into St. Pierre, which is a very cool experience to be able to do. So again, round trip out of Montreal, access to France, some amazing seafood, and some really stunning destinations to be able to see. So this would absolutely be one that I would speak to with your travel advisor, keeping in mind there's only one sailing in May, and that's May 30th. So this is something you would definitely want to talk about as soon as possible to your travel advisor, and that's May 2026. Another itinerary that's high on my list, of course, round trip out of Boston. This is, again, is Canada, New England, some of the most amazing ports throughout there. Plus, you're heading all the way up to Greenland and circumnavigating Iceland before coming back to Boston. Now, anytime you see that little moon, that means you're going to have a late departure. So you're going to be able to really enjoy Portland. You're going to be able to really enjoy Reykjavik to maximize your time in each of those destinations. So you always want to look for those long port days when you're looking at those itineraries. Now, I know that talking about some of these cold destinations right now for all of us that might be living in Ontario might be a bit of a tough sell. So let's talk about something warmer, okay, if we can. The Caribbean. This is incredibly popular for us at Holland America, and we can really offer a lot of great options. Those flexible itineraries, award-winning private island, and some really of those most iconic destinations. So you'll see that we do sail everywhere that you would expect in the Caribbean. All of our Caribbean itineraries will include at least one stop at Half Moon Cay, and this is our private island in the Bahamas. This is owned by the Carnival Corporation, and we share it with them. So it'll be a Holland America ship or Carnival not at the same time. And this is the largest private island in the Bahamas, which we're proud to be able to own. And it really is undeveloped. So it's going to feel like an oasis as you're in the Caribbean. You're going to feel a little bit like you're on a lost island, and it really is something special. Of course, you'll have all the amazing water sports, food, and drinks that you would expect on board, but this will certainly be a highlight of any Caribbean tour. Now, a couple of my favorite itineraries here, the 9-day Southern Caribbean to the ABC Islands. This is really a fabulous itinerary because it balances your port days in 3 fabulous destinations and your sea days. And I find a balance of both is really important. For me, I like to be able to explore the amazing destination like Curacao, which is that Dutch colony in the Caribbean. It is gorgeous. And I also want days on board the ship to just relax, read, maybe go to the spa, sleep in, of course. So this is really a great itinerary for that. Another one that might be very popular right now, this is round trip out of Fort Lauderdale. Again, we're getting you to Half Moon Cay, Curacao, Cartagena, Colombia, which is a gorgeous itinerary. We're going to take you into the Panama Canal for a couple of the locks and then back up to Fort Lauderdale. So this is a very popular one for us. For anyone that's already thinking about your holiday plans, of course, you might want to be able to get away and just relax and worry about someone else cooking and cleaning for you. This is a great itinerary. 14 days, gone for the holidays. Again, some fabulous destinations here. Half Moon Cay, of course. Grenada, which is another one of my favorite destinations. Trinidad, which is stunning if you haven't been there. Some of the most beautiful beaches in the Caribbean. So this would definitely be perfect for the person that wants to get away over the holidays. Now let's continue across the pond. We can talk about Europe now. Our season in Europe runs from April to November, and we do have a lot to offer in Europe. The thing that I'd love to highlight here, and this is so important, especially for anyone on the call that is maybe new to cruising, what we can offer, of course, is those perfectly sized ships, those amazing itineraries. I've talked a lot about that already, but we can offer those longer port stays. This is really important because when you're traveling in Europe, unlike the Caribbean and North America destinations, often the town that you're going to see on that itinerary is really nowhere near the port. So you do want to make sure you've got those long days to be able to get in and enjoy the city that you went there to see. Some examples of that would be overnight stays in places like Stockholm, Venice, Rhodes in Greece, and that we really maximize that to give you the extra time to enjoy those shore excursions, maybe head ashore for dinner, or just immerse yourself really in that destination because we know how important that is. Now, of course, we can offer all of Europe for you. So Northern Europe, the fjords of Norway are incredibly popular right now. Great time to be there would be June, July, August. Great weather, and most people are in the Mediterranean at that time. The Mediterranean, you're going to be able to visit some of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, get that authentic cuisine, and really take in some amazing overnights in places like Istanbul, Athens, and Barcelona, just to name a few. And then, of course, our transatlantic. This is perfect for the person that wants to just relax and enjoy the time across the pond from North America into Europe. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of itineraries here that I'm a big fan of. The 11-day Mediterranean medley. This really does offer some of the best that the Mediterranean has to offer. Of course, Barcelona, Granada, Malaga, which is new on our list, Tangier, so you can check Africa off your continent list if you haven't done that already, and then into Florence, of course, which is a highlight, of course. If you've got a little bit more time, this is a really fabulous itinerary, round trip out of Rotterdam. We're going to get you again up to those fjords. We're going to get you over to Greenland, some amazing ports there, and then off to Iceland. This itinerary here is something very special because you're actually crossing the Arctic Circle 3 times in this itinerary, which I just think is amazing. And you're exploring some of the most off the beaten path destinations in Iceland and Greenland. So really, really something very special here. Now, this itinerary is part of Holland America's legendary voyages. And our legendary voyages are the ones that really do highlight what Holland America does unique. And that's the fact that we specialize in long voyages. We know how difficult it is to get out of Canada, how expensive it is to get out of Canada. So it's important that you can maximize that vacation time for yourself. I encourage you when you're talking to your travel advisor at Expedia, do explore the voyages that are longer than 7 days. You really do want to get the most bang for your hard-earned buck when you're traveling. And those legendary voyages are a really great way to be able to do that because you're flying over, you're being able to have that experience on board, really cover a lot of bases, and then you can narrow it down to some of the destinations that you found really impactful that you're going to want to go back to. I'm going to show you a couple of really cool itineraries here to hopefully get you inspired. So anyone maybe that's thinking about going to Australia, but you're hesitant because the flight is so long, I've got you covered here. Well, at least 50% covered. You can fly on over to Sydney. You could spend some time on land, enjoying Australia, of course, and then board our Nordam for a 27-day South Pacific crossing back to Seattle. So you're going to be able to hit the South Pacific, Hawaii, and then up to Seattle for that short flight home back to maybe Toronto or Montreal. Some other options, of course, Alaska to the very next level, round trip out of Seattle. You're hitting pretty much every port as we head up to Dutch Harbor, all the way up to Nome, Alaska, and then again crossing the Arctic Circle on the Western Dam. This is really a fabulous way to experience Alaska for that Arctic solstice experience. Another itinerary, I call this one the Fire and Ice. This is round trip out of Seattle. Again, we're hitting Alaska. We're going to head down to Hawaii to warm up a bit, 28 days, and then back to Seattle for that short flight home. Really great way. And Hawaii, if you haven't been, cruising's a really great option to do it. It used to be quite inexpensive to island hop on Hawaii Air. Those prices certainly have elevated. So being able to do it on a ship, to have your food and accommodations and transportation already covered, already paid for in advance in Canadian dollars, really does make Hawaii very accessible. So it's a really great time to see that. Another one that is definitely on my list, the Voyage of the Vikings. This is incredibly popular. Round trip out of Boston. Again, you're doing Canada, New England, Greenland, Iceland for an overnight in Reykjavik. So again, really experience the stunning destination of Iceland. Down to the UK, Europe, and then up to the fjord there, which is pretty spectacular. And the last one I'm going to show, which is new for us, this is the 45-day Ultimate Mediterranean with the Atlantic crossing included. So round trip out of New York, we're going to get you again into the Mediterranean. You're going to hit Gibraltar. You're going to go into some stunning destinations, overnight in Rome, overnight in Istanbul, and overnight in Cairo. Again, just taking that whole experience to the next level to really make sure that you're immersing yourself in those destinations. So you're going to visit 11 incredible countries on this voyage, 20 ports, really something special. Now, I will just note that if you're retired, of course, this might be a little bit easier for you. But if you do have the ability to work from home or work remotely, this can be a really great option, these longer voyages. You can have access to the Wi-Fi on board. You can work while you're traveling, getting paid, seeing the world. I mean, what a fabulous way to be able to spend 45 days. Now, maybe you're saying to yourself, Aaron, look, 45 days, I got more time. Okay, I want to see more. No problem. We got you covered. So you're going to head on into your local Expedia office and you're going to ask about the grand voyage for 2026. I'm going to show you here really one of the most amazing itineraries. So imagine 132 days, 7 continents, 25 countries, 48 ports, 15 extended stays, hitting all 7 continents. I mean, just spectacular. This is round trip out of Fort Lauderdale, folks. So a short flight down there, you're going to board the ship, and then you're really covering some of the most spectacular places in the world. 9 overnights, including places like Bali, Singapore, and Lisbon. You also will have a 4-day Antarctica experience on this voyage. You're going to hit South America, South Pacific, Australia, Southeast Asia, the Mediterranean. You're going to have an optional overland tour to get you into Agra and see India's Taj Mahal, which I highly recommend that you do because it is a pretty spectacular experience. So this will be just a dream itinerary. Then, of course, when you come home, you've made all of your friends incredibly jealous with your amazing stories. Then you can look at the itineraries that are going to take you back to the parts of the world that really resonated with you. So maybe it was the Mediterranean that really inspired you. No problem. Head on back and maybe just focus on the Mediterranean as an example. The last one that I'm going to share with you, this is brand new for us. This is our Grand Australia, New Zealand. So round trip out of San Diego, 2 continents, 10 countries, 44 ports, 10 extended stays. You're going to go from San Diego, you're going to hit Hawaii, the South Pacific, circumnavigating Australia, New Zealand before heading back through the South Pacific up to San Diego. really just a dream itinerary. To be able to see Australia, New Zealand like this from the ship really is something special. Overnights include places like Hobart, Sydney, Auckland. You're going to have a 2-day Barrier Reef experience. You're going to hit 20 islands in the South Pacific. I mean, that is stuff that dreams are made of. Plus, new places like Papua New Guinea, the Solomon Islands, which are new for us, which is, again, just creating something really spectacular. Now, we do have an early booking bonus for this. This will definitely be something you're going to want to mention to your Expedia advisor. This will run until June 16th, and you can receive up to $9,350 US per person worth of amenities for either one of those bookings. Things like complimentary Wi-Fi, the air credit. Remember, you've got a short flight either to San Diego or Fort Lauderdale, so your air credit is probably going to take care of most of that air cost for you, plus so much more. So we do really have a lot to offer when it comes to those world and grand voyages. So hopefully throughout the video, I've given you some really amazing insight into Holland America, some spectacular destinations. Of course, I can't stress enough that you would speak to your Expedia travel advisor. They are experts. They know Holland America. They know cruising better than anyone else. And they're really going to be able to support you to make sure that you're really choosing that itinerary of a lifetime. So thank you so much for listening. I do really appreciate it. I think, Donna, we're going to open it up to maybe some questions, or maybe I can answer
Yes.
that.
Actually, first question, first issue, the first video I didn't hear, the second one I did, but I've gotten messages for both. Is there a way, Erin, if you could pass me the videos, I can email the client so they could watch them if they didn't get them?
Absolutely. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, awesome. Like I said, the first one I couldn't hear, it just cut in a note. The second one was perfect for me, but someone else in the group did say they didn't get it. So just
Okay.
before I forget to ask you for that. And guys, if you did not get it, I put my email twice in the chat. You can just copy it and then you can email me because some people are signed as an iPad, so I don't really know. I don't want to send it to everybody, but I do have a question for you actually, Erin, and this is one of my clients that is not here tonight. I recently booked them for Canada, New England. And it was the first time I had seen, instead of all in, it was all in plus. And they said to me, well, what's the difference? And I had showed them what it was included. Is this a new thing? I'm not sure.
It's not a new thing. I think it's a different name for the Have It All EVV. Yeah.
Okay. And that's, I had, I could see what it was. So I sent it to them and I'm like, I don't really see too much, but so yes, that was their question. And I was going to email you and I thought, oh, I'll just ask tonight.
Yeah,
It's
no
perfect.
problem.
Does anybody else have any questions? Again, if you don't want to speak, you can go in the chat, or again, you have my email. So if you think of something, you can either reach out to your consultant or you can email me and I can definitely get that back information to you. And again, please, if you were unfortunate enough the video didn't work, please email me and I will definitely send that to you as well. So I'm just double checking if there's nothing new in the chat because there's two different chats, there's chat and then questions and answers. Nothing. Okay. No questions, anybody? I think we're good, Erin. It was, you know what? Although I'm literally wrote down 3 cruises now I want to go look up and book myself. So I was like, that Montreal to Montreal looks amazing.
It's a really great itinerary. The Canada New England cruise is one of my favorites. It's so beautiful. I love the East Coast. And to be able to sail out of Montreal under that bridge is really something special because the view from there is really it's something to behold. It really is very unique experience.
I know. I was looking at that going, I've done Canada, New England twice and never the St. Louis. I'm like, oh, that has to be the next one. It's just amazing. So if nobody has questions, I'm going to stop the recording here.